At this part, we will give you an introduction about the globalization of religion.
The intended learning outcomes are examine how globalization affects religious practices and beliefs, discuss the characteristic of each type of religious organization, and describe the relationship of globalization with the world's major religion.
So for us, Filipinos, religion actually plays a vital role. It's because our values are anchored on our religion. It affects our attitude, characteristic, and perspective in life. Globalization can refer to the worldwide interconnectedness of all areas and of contemporary social life, it actually include religion. If we define religion, it is a belief in a God or in a group of gods, an organized system of beliefs, ceremonies, and rules used to worship a God or a group of gods. An interest, a belief, or an activity that is very important to a person or group. So globalization, it has affected religion in various ways. It paved the way to the rise of the religious nationalism. The turn of nationalism into public life, the proliferation of the international terrorism, and increase of individual religiosity. So there are three paradigms or perspectives from which are the role of religion in the globalization process. The first is the modernist. In the simplest version of the modernist view, enlightenment and secularization progressively spreads from educated elite to other people as well, from the center of society to the periphery. The second is the postmodernist. The core value of postmodernism is expressive individualism. It is largely hyper-secularism and joins modernism in predicting and eagerly anticipating the disappearance of traditional religions. So globalization, by the breaking up and dissolving every tradition, will bring about the universal triumph of expressive individualism. The third one is the pre-modernist. There is an alternative perspective, one which is postmodern in its occurrence but which is pre-modern in its sensibility. So it is best represented and articulated by the Roman Catholic Church, especially by Pope John Paul II.
Let's discuss the types of the religious organizations. In our modern societies, there's a lot of religious organizations that exist. These are usually classified by the sociologists according to their size and influence. Now, the major types of religious organizations are the church, the sect, and the cult. The first one is the church. Church is a large bureaucratically organized religious organization that is closely integrated or closely embedded into a society. It has two subtypes, the ecclesia and the denomination. Now let's define these two subtypes. Ecclesia is closely allied to the state and secular powers. Ecclesia refers to a large religious group that is dominated by a certain religion, wherein that religion is the official or the national religion of the society. Also, most of the citizens in that society are part of it. For example, Islam in Saudi Arabia, the Catholic Church in Spain, the Lutheran Church in Sweden, and the Anglican Church in England. Take note that ordinarily people do not join an ecclesia. They automatically become part of it when they are born. The second subtype is the denomination. Denomination is also a large religious group that is integrated into a society. However, it doesn't claim to be the official or formal part of the state. The members of these organizations become part of it because their parents or their relatives were members of it. Examples of denominations are the Baptist, the African Methodist Episcopal, and the Seventh-day Adventist. Do not be confused about these two subtypes under the church. Just remember that ecclesia claims to be the official part of the state, while the denomination doesn't claim to be the official or formal part of the state. The second one is the sects. Sects are smaller and less organized religious body of committed members. They typically arise in protest to a larger denomination and active in seeking new converts. For example, the Church of the Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Now, if a sect grows, they may become an institutional religious body instead of a protesting group. And if a sect survives in an extended period of time, it will probably become a denomination. The last one is the cult. Cult may impart it in negative connotations to us, but almost all the religions in the world began as cult. Cults are small religious organizations similar to the sects but differ in three aspects. First, They did not break away from a certain denomination. Instead, they originated outside the mainstream. And second, they are secretive, highly controlling of the members, and they do not proselytize or trying to convert other people to be part of their religion. Then lastly, they are ruled by a charismatic leader who focuses on bringing the people together in the same turn of mind. To conclude, religious organizations often try to bridge particular belief systems that promotes religion, values, and norms. Remember that there are three types of religious organizations: the church, the sect, and the cult. Under the church are the ecclesia and the denomination.
Good day everyone, my name is Carmela A. Plang, and at this juncture we are going to talk about the 5 major world religions. Globalization brings a culture of pluralism, meaning religions with overlapping but distinctive ethics and interests interact with one another. Religions teach values such as human dignity, equality, freedom, peace, and solidarity. These religions have their religious books and believe in life after death. The 5 major world religions are Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, and Judaism. First, we are going to talk about Christianity. It is the world's biggest religion with over 2.1 billion followers worldwide. Christians follow the teachings of Jesus Christ in the Bible, and the Christian holidays include Easter and Christmas. The religion played an important role in the development of Western civilization. Christianity is divided into 3 largest branches. First is the Catholic Church. It is the world's and oldest, largest continuously functioning international institution, also known as the Roman Catholic Church. The Pope, who is the Bishop of Rome, is the chief pastor of the church. The Catholic Church teaches that it is the one holy Catholic and Apostolic Church founded by the Jesus Christ in his Great Commission. The Catholic Church has profoundly influenced Western philosophy, culture, art, music, and science. Example of countries with the greatest percentage of Catholics are Vatican City, Timor-Leste, San Mariano, and Paraguay. Next is the Eastern Orthodox Church. It is characterized by its continuity with the Apostolic Church, its liturgy, and its territorial churches. In the Christian sense, the term means conforming to the Christian faith as represented in the creeds of the early church. The word Orthodox relates to the collection of doctrines that were accepted by the early Christians. Eastern Christianity emphasizes a way of life and belief that is manifested especially through worship. By preserving the conventional method of worshiping God passed on from the very beginnings of Christianity. Example of countries with the greatest percentage of Eastern Orthodox are the Eastern European countries such as Belarus, Bulgaria, Cyprus, Georgia, and Greece. Lastly, we have the Protestantism. It is a Christian religious movement that began in the Northern Europe in early 16th century as a reaction to the medieval Roman Catholic doctrines and practices. In the 16th century, Protestants referred primarily to the 2 great schools of thought that arose in the Reformation, the Lutheran and the Reformed. Today, Protestantism constitutes the second largest form of Christianity after Catholicism, with a total number of 800 million to 1 billion adherents worldwide, or about 37% of all Christians. Example of countries with the greatest percentage of Protestants are United States, Nigeria, China, and Brazil. Next is Islam. It is the second largest religion with over 1.5 billion followers. The Islamic religion is based on the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad and their holy book, the Quran. Followers of Islam are based primarily in the Asia-Pacific region and in the Middle East. Scholars typically date the creation of Islam to the 7th century, making it the youngest of the major world religions. Islam started in Mecca, in modern day called Saudi Arabia, during the time of the Prophet Muhammad's life. The word Islam means submission to the will of God. Followers of Islam are called Muslims. Mosques are the places where Muslims worship. The Quran or Quran is the major holy text of Islam. Some important Islamic holy places include the Kaaba shrine in Mecca, the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem, and the Prophet Muhammad's Mosque in Medina. Example of countries with the greatest percentage of Muslim are Indonesia, Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Nigeria, Egypt, and Iran. Next is Hinduism. Hinduism is considered the oldest religion in the world and is the world's third largest religion, boasting almost 1 billion followers. The Vedas, or the oldest Hindu sacred texts, Upanishads, a more philosophical and theoretical approach to the practice of Hinduism, and the Bhagavad Gita, the best known and widely cited book in all of Hinduism, are its most important religious scriptures. They believe in the cyclical nature of time, karma, reincarnation, and all revealed religions are essentially correct. Living being is first and foremost a spiritual entity. Example of countries with the greatest percentage of Hinduism are India, Nepal, and Bangladesh. Next, we have Buddhism. It has more than 350 million followers worldwide, and its followers believe in attaining nirvana as their ultimate goal. Buddhism originated in India between 563 to 483 BCE with Siddhartha Gautama, and over the next millennia, it spread across Asia and the rest of the world. Buddhists believe that human life is a cycle of suffering and rebirth, but that if one achieves a state of enlightenment or nirvana, Siddhartha Gautama was the first person to reach this state of enlightenment and was and is today known as the Buddha. Buddhists do not believe in any kind of deity or God, although there are supernatural figures who can help or hinder people on the path towards enlightenment. Example of countries with the greatest percentage of Buddhists are Bhutan, Myanmar, Cambodia, North and South Korea, and India. Lastly, we have Judaism. It is one of the oldest monotheistic religions, and the religion's texts have influenced Christianity and Islam. Followers of Judaism believe in one God who revealed himself through ancient prophets. Jewish people worship in holy places known as synagogues, and their spiritual leaders are called rabbis. The six-pointed Star of David is a symbol of Judaism. The Jewish sacred text is called the Tanakh of the Hebrew Bible. It includes the same books as the Old Testament in the Christian Bible, but they're placed in a slightly different order. The origins of Jewish faith are explained through the Torah. According to the text, God first revealed himself to a Hebrew man named Abraham, who became known as the founder of Judaism. Abraham's son Isaac and his grandson Jacob also became central figures in ancient Jewish history. Jacob took the name Israel, and his children and future generations became known as Israelites. Example of countries with the greatest percentage of Jewish are Israel, France, Canada, United Kingdom, and Germany. Now we are going to talk about the effects of globalization to religion. Cultural differences have changed religious beliefs and traditions within religious practices, as stated by Blanco et al. 2006. According to Meknes, religion and globalization persistently engage in a flexible relationship in which the former relies on the latter, meaning religion relies on globalization in order to thrive and flourish while at the same time challenging its hybridizing effects. In order to emerge and spread, therefore, religions make good use of the technologies of globalization. Although religion is strengthened and fortified by globalization, it also represents a challenge to its hybridizing effects. According to Turner S. Bryan, globalization transforms the generic religion into a world system of competing and conflicting religions. This process of institutional specialization has transformed local, diverse, and fragmented cultural practices into recognizable systems of religion. Globalization has therefore had the paradoxical effect of making religions, via their religious leaders and sites, more self-conscious of themselves as being the world religion. Globalization makes religions more conscious of themselves as being the world religions, as stated earlier, reinforcing their respective specific identities. These identities get strengthened by globalization and cannot in any way should intermingle or hybridize. Since globalization is said to bring the world cultures, identities, and religions in direct contacts with each other and make everything hybrid, the competition and conflicts of religions that it gives rise to constitute a challenge to it and its hybridizing effects. While religion takes caution against the norms and the values related to globalization, it challenges the latter since it does not approve its hybridizing effect according to El Azuze 2013. That's it. Thank you very much for listening and have a good day.